Muted.
Okay, so the Spot mobile app, first and foremost, welcome to the Spot mobile app training. Purpose of this training is to go through the required configuration that you will need to take care of inside of Spot in order for the mobile app to function properly. Hopefully I'm not jumping around too much, and again, this is the first of such lectures. So if there's anything that you feel I missed, or if you have any questions, you can either put your question in the chat or wait till the end and we'll do a Q&A, or you can email me at spencerk@spotpos.com. Any suggestions would be very welcome. So just to get us started, the concept here, let's first come back to our main page. We generally, before we start going through this section, we want to make sure that the basic app has been built and is in your hands. It doesn't necessarily need to be in your hands because you can get started on this configuration, but we want you to kind of be able to make these changes and then test them inside the app itself. So the Spot mobile app setup, again, first and foremost, we want to get our store information correct. Now, as of right now, the device itself will attempt to map an address based on the address that's located in the Spot map settings inside of Spot. But it's quite a bit faster if the lat long is actually present. And so right now, you can actually convert that using this website, latlong.net. I'll go ahead and pull this up. Let's get it over to here. And so we type the address. So I'm just going to use 12345 South 300 East, Draper, Utah 84020. We will find that, and that'll give us our latitude and our longitude. Inside of Spot, we can come into our location information, and at the store level of our location information, we come to the Spot map, and then we come over to our lat long, and you can see that's already set. It's not exactly as this website did it. It's a little bit. It's got some extra numbers there, but again, it's pretty dead on. Negative 111.88. That's our office here, right across the street from Penny Ann's Cafe, which is amazing if you ever make it out to our office. And we'll also want to make sure that we have our Spot map address, obviously, and our Spot map numbers, and then we want to make sure that we have our hours of operation. So Monday through Friday, 7 to 7, Saturday, 10 to 5. And so as long as when we have those hours of operation inside the app itself, I'll get logged into the app. Whoops, keep getting, every time we have a little build go off, it gives a little notification here. We'll get logged in. Looks like Dave is changing his certificates. What did I set? Password. 1, 2, 3, bang. Okay, so inside the help section, under store information, this is where it's going to map, and you'll see how fast that came up. If you have, multiple, quite a few locations, if these lat longs are not set, then it can take quite some time to load. And so there was one that I did the other day, and it took something like 30 seconds for all of the stores to load. But when the lat long is present, it just grabs that lat long, shoves it in, and it loads immediately. So that's pretty obvious. You'll also want to make sure that if you have a manager, you want the contact field to be set for the store. You'll see where it says Test Manager, Bob Manager. Now, whoops, I might want to come back here. Test Manager and Bob Manager. We'll want to make sure that is present. Now, these settings that I'm looking at in Spot are not the same ones that this phone is accessing. Our test app actually accesses a development-only environment that I don't have access to. So Fortunately, I'm not going to. There's a few changes that I won't be able to test live on this call. Hopefully, I'll be able to get another recording in the future that will take care of that. We want to make sure that we have our time zone set, and we want to adjust for daylight saving if that's the case. Okay, and then coming back to our, we also want to make sure that we have an email address configured. So we want to contact, an email address. You don't necessarily have to have the contact. The contact is only necessary if you want customers to see who the manager of the store is. And then, of course, any additional information. One additional option that you could use with the contact function is the if you have specific services that are offered at a store. Now, I recommend you probably don't do that, because if you have emails going out, order-ready emails that are signed with the manager, then you don't want to mess with that. So on second thought, maybe that's not the best idea. I do have one customer that's using that to, just exclusively for the app that says, oh, this is for we offer alterations at this store. Okay. In company information, we want to make sure that we have a primary contact in the contacts list. So under company, setup location information, company settings, and contacts, we want to make sure that we have our primary name and the title and role and the email address and the phone number. And then underneath our store groups under contacts, we also have Customer Connect, and underneath this we have a store group. You choose your store group, and these are all the stores that show up. Now, if you had been to the Customer Connect training, you are familiar with my warning here that says these assigned stores, if you uncheck it, nobody who is assigned to that store can use the app. So it's very, very, generally you would only uncheck this if you have, say, a restoration store or a different brand that you don't want to show up for this particular, if you've got XYZ cleaners and ABC cleaners in the same company umbrella, you would normally have probably two store groups. You would want to make sure that only the correct ones are selected for the given store group context. So if you have routes that you don't want to show on the store list, as of right now, that's not an option. It's coming soon, but I don't have an actual ETA on that. So keep your eyes peeled. We've got build notes coming out. There's going to be a lot of updates made to this. And one thing that I failed to mention at the beginning of this call was, make sure that you've got your contacts set here. And this notify button right here is what will determine whether or not you receive those build notes. So those build notes will get sent based on this notification section right here. The phone portion is used for if we have any unanticipated, outages on our end, and we need to call the stores. Basically, those outages, any of those outage notifications will go to the stores, and it will go to anyone who has the notify set here with a valid phone number. Okay. Let's move on to the pricing configuration. The pricing configuration inside the mobile app, we come back right here, come down to pricing. So right now I have laundry, shirts regular hang, shirts regular fold, dry clean, suit 2-piece, suit 3-piece, and so on and so forth. Now, most customers have a lot more prices in their price table than they want to advertise to the customer because they get a lot more specific. So inside Spot, if you go into your company settings, mark-in settings, price tables, and then I'll just come to our general, come to our departments. Under the department, there is a web description right here. And if we continue down that, we also have a web description for the category. And then all the way down to regular hang, we have a display on web. The only items that will show on the pricing are items that have display on web checked, And then the web description gives you the chance to maybe change the description of what the item is. So regular hang may not mean a whole lot to the average customer, so I will say shirt on hanger. And so what we're going to see is laundry, shirts, shirt on hanger, or I could even just say on hanger so that we see laundry, shirts, and on hanger. Laundry, and then for fold, laundry, shirts, folded. And that helps the customer to have a better understanding of what the item is. And then, you know, if you had something like, let's find maybe express bag, you know, if you wanted to change the name of the category express bag, you could call it, if you had, you know, XYZ bag. A lot of customers have very specific names for those express bags. So you can change those names at each of those levels. Okay. For the coupon configuration, with the mobile app, we have the ability to add a coupon here. So let's go into to the coupons, and just to go talk a little bit about, right now in ours we just have one of the Kona Cleaners coupons listed, but right now it's a web-only special alterations. When we add this coupon on the Spot site, as of right now, anytime this coupon gets modified, it does have to come through Spot, through app setup at spotpos.com. And as of right now, it does require the app to be republished. So if this is in front of your customers and you have a monthly special, you need to stay on top of that and get that to us ahead of time so that we can get it published and out in time. That should be changing very soon. That's one of our hot buttons, is to make sure that we are able to get those coupons, make those a much more immediate modification. As opposed to being built with the app, it will be a configuration that gets pulled down when the app is opened, and that makes things a lot faster. You'll also see here that we have redeem coupon here. So with the coupons, when these coupons are sent up to us, they also include a code. Now the code does not necessarily need to be on the coupon image itself, but we need to know what that coupon code is. And inside your Spot configuration, under the coupon itself, you need to have a coupon barcode configured. In this case, I have JK123 configured for my 10% off. So if I had a, excuse me, if I had a 10% off coupon in my mobile app, that coupon needs to be configured with JK123 as a coupon. That is where this redeem coupon makes the link, is at this coupon barcode section. You'll also want to make sure that the same coupon barcode is not on multiple coupons. I'm not 100% sure what it does, but I believe it will just, probably about 50% sure that it will grab the first coupon and just apply that one. This is a one-time only redemption per customer. They click redeem coupon, and you'll see it says, oops, award code has already been used. When the customer redeems this, that coupon will automatically show up on their next order. And it will continue showing up until some value has been used for that coupon, I believe. It may only show up on the next order, but that may be something that I should double check on. Okay. Now, the Customer Connect settings. There are a handful of settings that get shared between Customer Connect and the mobile app. So under Customer Connect settings and our Customer Connect profile, come into configure our settings. And the first and foremost is the account update, the signups. One thing to note is that the bypass web requests must be checked off for each and every item here. So for the signups, for account update, for you can't bypass it for AR payments. For cancellation, sign up, pickup, account update, and cancellation, you must have web requests bypassed. The app will not function properly if you do not bypass those. Now, there have been some questions about how do we, if you are familiar with the old method of Customer Connect and you're used to seeing those web requests, and even the old mobile app, you're used to seeing those web requests inside of Spot. Some of the questions have been, how do I reconcile new signups? And I actually got the answer to this yesterday. There is it's not there just yet, but in the web requests alert, we are going to be modifying that alert to function with the bypass web requests. And basically it will be a way for you to go in, you'll go into the web request, and it will still have the signups, it'll still have all the items, but those items will already be live. It will just give you the chance to dismiss it and basically confirm it, saying, I know about this, everything looks good. Or if it's a route sign up and you want to move around the route, you can do that. So that has been a serious point of concern that I have been very, very vocal about getting a resolution to, and it looks like that resolution is on its way. It should be coming very soon. So unfortunately, as with most things, I don't have an actual ETA, but that is coming. Okay. So bypassing web requests is really just not optional. I know that we've run into it several times where, oh, well, you know, we want to use the web requests, but with the way that the mobile app functions, basically whenever a customer finishes signing up, it immediately tries to log in, and if the web requests are not enabled, it'll either give an error when they sign up, or I have seen one case where it processed it, but then of course the sign-in failed because the web request had not been processed. So a lot of confusion created for customers. Okay, on the credit card section here, this is the same as with the Customer Connects training. Do not enable tokens at this time. The app and the Customer Connect website do not have the ability to tokenize a credit card. That is on its way. So hopefully once that gets added, we can go ahead and start enabling that and have those tokens immediately processed. Same thing. Again, many of these shared settings, each of these templates outside of an AR payment, which is the only thing that will still require a web request, and an AR payment can't even take place through the app at this time. It can take place on the web, but not through the app. Each of these templates do need to be configured, and you do need to have your email server properly configured as well before any of those emails will go out to the customer. As I talk about in the Customer Connects training, if you are not familiar with the file manager in Spot, please do so. If it says that it's not enabled, give our support team a call. They'll be happy to get it taken care of. You can reach them at support@spotpos.com, customercare@spotpos.com, or you can call them at 801-208-2210. You can access the file manager from, cancel out of here. You can access the file manager from Menu, Tools, Spot File Manager, and the Spot File Manager gives you the ability to pull down your templates without having to involve Spot tech support. So there you have a client folder. In this case, I'm using my dtemp folder. The only thing I recommend is that you don't use a root folder like the C root. Basically it's a protected folder, and you won't be able to write to it. You won't be able to copy anything over. But the concept here is you select. You can just click and drag to select multiple items, copy those files down, say OK, and then if there's anything, and then it will just give you a confirmation on each of these, and if there's something to overwrite, it will have you confirm it. Now the overwrite from, sometimes if you have a permissions issue, it may not work, but then you can pull everything down. And then now that you have local access to those files, you can make changes to them, and when you're ready to send them back up, you can send them right back up. So if I'm going to copy the header back in, and there it is. Let's see, what was one of the ones? Let's do route stop. One of the ones that I already had. It's going to ask me to override it. One of the things that I recommend is instead of overriding it, rename the old one. I typically put a route stop dot, and then a timestamp. So today would be 2017.04.20.htm. And that renames it, and then I can copy the new one across. And if I run into any problems, I can rename this one to some maybe .broken or routestop.broken.htm, and then rename the original back to what it is. So if you make any mistakes, this is just a good way to give yourself an insurance policy. If you happen to overwrite one of them and the overwrite is still broken, you can always give support a call. We do have access to, we do make backups of those files when they get overwritten or deleted. So when you remove it here, it doesn't fully remove it, it creates a backup of it, and then we can always restore that backup. So you just need to give us a call. Okay, so you want to make sure that all of those templates, you want to get them branded, make them look nice and professional. By default, the default templates are text only. They don't look very professional. Oops, I always go to credit card settings for some reason. Customer reward settings. Yeah, I'm going to customer reward settings now. I'm losing my mind here. Customer connect settings. If I'm blind. Okay, there we go. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the request visits. Some of these are optional settings. The request visits, I recommend that you join my, that if you haven't, you attend my Customer Connect training, or myself or Tyler's Customer Connect training. If you don't have the ability to attend, you can always send me an email, spencerk@spotpos.com, just requesting a link to a downloadable training. And this particular training is also being recorded. And if you're listening to a recording, I guess I didn't need to say that. So let's talk about the request visits if enabled. This is where we come into some of the stuff that's coming for the future with the route track. And a lot of what we're doing with the mobile app is tied into the route track portion. So let's come back to the mobile app and talk a little bit about how this works. So if I go and add a pickup request, Spot is going to give me a number of options. It's going to say how many days out. First and foremost, how many days out are we going to evaluate? In this case, we're evaluating 7. I think it's 5 or 4 on the app that I'm using right now. But you'll see I can choose a same-day pickup, and I can also choose a same-day delivery. And I can choose a next-day delivery because we don't allow for same-day delivery. And you'll see next-day delivery, it's estimating 1 to 6 p.m. based on the way that the route has been run previously. And it's also going to charge me $25 for that next-day delivery. So you'll see. And for based on the way I think they're doing some testing here, but you'll see there's also another one for Friday 8:30 to 4:30, kind of an early morning delivery for $25. But if we come back to the request visits, we have a rush delivery fee schedule. You can see same day again. This is a different configuration, but when we configure the rush delivery, first thing we do is enable rush delivery, and then we say how many days out do we consider to be a normal delivery, and that is going to be 2 days away. So if I request on Thursday, then a normal delivery, and if we don't run on Saturday, then a normal delivery would be Monday. 2 days out from Thursday would be Monday. Anything earlier than that is going to be considered a rush delivery and falls back to our rush delivery fee schedule. So same day, next day. In this case, next day, our day's offset is 1, and our service fee is $10. In the case of the app here, that is going to be a next day delivery fee of $25. Or I can go to and it will also show what the regularly scheduled is. Regularly scheduled, and you'll see cancel pickup. So if I choose regularly scheduled, because I am a regularly scheduled customer, if I choose those days, I don't actually need to choose them because I'm going to get a visit either way. You'll see it changes to cancel pickup. So if I just want to cancel my pickup from here, well, it says it's no longer en route, which makes sense because that's interesting that it's not letting me cancel the one for Friday. Well, that's still in process. So again, we're talking about concepts right here. So a lot of this stuff is still in process. Let's come back to our request visits here. So again, if you allow a rush delivery, you have the ability to charge the customer based on how you want those rushes to take place. One thing that will need to be in place is you will need to have an invoice adjustment for that rush fee. Now, the way that Spot applies that rush fee is we put that invoice adjustment, we apply an invoice adjustment to the first invoice that gets marked in. So you will want to come to your mark-in settings, company settings, mark-in settings, invoice adjustment, and we can just create this as rush delivery or rush next day. And I leave it at 0, but we leave this at 0 because the rush delivery schedule is going to accommodate that. But that does need to be set if you're going to do the rush delivery, because we need to have a way to reflect it. And I'm sorry, this is one of those settings, invoice adjustments are one of those settings where you have to save out fully before it shows up in any other dialogues. But that rush delivery invoice adjustment is what allows us, or is the way that the adjustment applies to the order. So on that first order, there will be an invoice adjustment for rush delivery. And again, I'm missing exactly where I need to go. Okay, let's talk about our service fee schedule in terms of distance and time. We don't actually, this is not actually supported yet, but we will talk about the theory behind it. Service fee schedule in terms of distance and time. Basically, the idea is if I have an en route route driver who has left the store, he's out driving the route, and I have a customer who requests a visit, but we are, just lost my entire train of thought. If I have a customer who is requesting a visit, and we have already passed their stop. So let's say, for instance, a customer who would normally be the third stop on a route requests a visit, and the route driver is already up to stop 20. This service fee schedule says how long is it going to take me to get back to him, and how far do I have to drive to get back to him? And the first of those, the first of these criteria that's matched is what will be charged to the customer. So if and again, the distance is, we're going metric, it's in terms of meters. So if it's 5 kilometers, you have to figure out what that would be in miles if that's your prerogative. But we're changing the world. We're going metric. So it's 5,000 meters, and then in terms of time, it's in terms of seconds. So in this case, 10 seconds is not very good. We want to do, if we were doing 10 minutes, then that's 600 seconds. And then 20 would be 1,200 seconds. Okay. This is also usable for customers that may not reside within a delivery area. I believe that is part of the concept. If I'm within, in terms of the distance, if I'm within 5,000 kilometers of the route, and it's not going to take, and it's going to take me, take the route driver X distance away from, out of his way to come pick up my order, then it will allow somebody who lives outside the route zone. I'm not, don't take my word as gospel on that. I'm fairly certain that's part of the concept, but I will need to verify that. So, okay. Again, signups, we need to make sure that we have a default store configured for our signups. And then we also have a default route name. This route must be part of the default store. For some reason, this is not a drop-down. You do have to type in the route name, and it has to match exactly. Hopefully, that changes in the near future. I know that's on the list. So. Additionally, in order for a route to work inside of the Route Track Mobile, not the Route Track Mobile, the Customer Connect mobile, the My Dry Cleaner mobile is what I'm trying to say. We need to make sure that the route is configured as a dynamic route. So we have static routes, we have on-demand routes, and then we have dynamic. This is a new style. I keep looking at that. So dynamic routes allow static stops, but also include flag customers that fall into the route zone. So if I'm a customer, I sign up as a route customer. I fall inside the route zone. Spot will automatically insert me into the route and will automatically start visiting me based on my preferences. And again, the default days would determine that. So if this is a static route and anybody who falls into this is just going to get a visit regardless on Monday, Thursday, then the customer who falls inside that route will automatically get flagged for Monday, Thursday. Obviously, if you're going to be doing a dynamic route, a big part of the app is we want to push more for on-demand. So you would remove the default days, and then have the customers automatically go in as an on-demand customer. And so then they would have to request their visits. The default days that the customer can request a visit is based on the zone, and I believe on the default day schedule configured here. Not this one. I think it might actually be that default day schedule. I may have to double check on that. And this side of the app is fully functional. We can do the parts that are fully functional right now are the rush deliveries and the automatic route assignment for the customer, and for the route signups, and that portion. But again, you do need to make sure that you have a dynamic route configured, and then the part that we've all been waiting for, the route zone, the delivery zone must be created. And the delivery zone is not as painful to create as it has been in years past. If you ever tried to create a delivery zone using Microsoft MapPoint, you wanted to kind of die, because you had to buy a copy of MapPoint and define the route zone, and then we would have to import it inside of Spot. Using either Google Maps, or if you have a Telogis workstations, you can also define the route zone through Telogis. If you go to your company settings and Spot Map settings, you can see your mapping component. If this is set to Microsoft MapPoint, and you're using that to get driving directions, first word of caution is Microsoft MapPoint has been end of life since, I think, 2013. So your maps are at least 4 years outdated. The second side is it's pretty much the MapPoint is not supported in Spot's new environment, and ultimately everybody is going to be moved to that new environment. MapPoint has just gone the way of the dodo. So if you're interested in the absolute most cutting edge, is Telogis. Telogis does incur a per month per workstation cost of $6, and thankfully, you can go ahead and choose which workstation you want to use it. That's not the Spot workstation. That is the licensed workstation. So if you are using a license for 01 Counter 1 and you have Telogis enabled, you cannot log into 01 Counter 1 from 01 Counter 2 and use Telogis. You have to be using the 01 Counter 1 physical license. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and use Google Maps v3. This is also just fine for creating zones. And in the future, the creation of zones is going to be even better. But I don't think I'm going to go into that right now because it's still so new. So if we come down to our route settings, come into the routes, choose our route, go to the test route, come down, we have a delivery zone. And Spot will show the existing delivery zone if it exists, which in this case it does not, so I can zoom in, zoom out. And then I have this button that says Begin Zone Definition. So again, you can use your mouse wheel to zoom in and make the zone. If there's an existing zone, you'll want to clear it, which obviously there isn't one. And then we just start clicking. Left click, and then we can drag over here, left click. So when you have a zone that is around a particularly curvy road, you can see how this could be a pain. The joke that I always use is spend a Friday night, have a shot of whiskey, and go to town on your zone creation. But once these zones are properly defined, in the zone definition, and it fills in with this color. Okay, so now anybody who signs up and falls within this zone is going to be assigned to that zone, and that will be how we accommodate this. The other side of it is we can actually have multiple zones that cover the same area. So let's say you have and I'm not 100% on a few of these details, so I apologize ahead of time. But I can have a customer. The concept of with Route Track Mobile is that I can have a customer who, say, they live downtown Salt Lake City. If I can have a zone that encompasses this, this area. I can have 4 zones that encompass this area, and then I can have one big central zone. And I allow that central zone, I allow those customers to request a visit any day of the week. I'm not 100% sure how those customers get assigned to their respective routes, but really the concept is that we're moving away from the traditional concept of a route and moving more to a dynamic route where we use the zones to determine to allow the customers to request their visits, so on and so forth. There's going to be some more information coming out about this. There's still quite a bit that I don't fully understand and that is not completely finished, but that is the direction that we're going. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and overwrite that delivery zone, and then we can also have a map fill color. I can change the map fill color, and I believe that will modify the color of the zone. See that color changed away from the red. I can change it to, let's go to something more obviously different. Let's try the green. I believe it changes it. Yep, so it changes that map fill color so that you can easily identify your other zones. The downside here is that when you create a zone through Spot itself, it doesn't show the other zones, the other route zones on the map. The new way that we'll have the zone creation will be web-based, and you will be able to see all of the zones. And not only that, you'll be able to manipulate the zones a lot easier. You'll be able to click and drag a portion of the zone and drag it out and really get it precise. It's a little bit less precise than you would prefer when you do it through Spot. And the new method is going to be much better. But again, you don't have it, so it's not very helpful right now. Okay, let's talk about customer referrals. Customer referrals, the old method that we did customer referrals in Spot was fairly clunky and not very good. Basically, the way that it functioned was the customer A would receive a referral coupon, and they would give that coupon to customer B. Customer B would bring in that referral coupon. We would create the association for customer B to customer A, and then customer A would get a percentage of customer B's sales over a specified period of time, say 5% for the first 3 months that he used the company. Problem with that is it's really not trackable for customer A. They're not seeing the reward. They just know that they have a very, maybe a small cash credit here and there. It just does not give them the information that they need, and they don't really get the dopamine, the little dopamine hit of having referred somebody and getting that referral, getting that credit. So the way that we have changed it is under store settings, customer referral settings. First, we enable customer referral, and then we set the referral incentive type. So instead of percentage of sales, we're going to an award coupon, which means this setting and this setting, these two settings, the referral incentive rate and expiration period are pointless. And then we also have a referral coupon that we can still print for the referring customer. But what the referring customer also has is through the app, we have the refer a friend menu, and it shows their code. And it'll also show their credit. I'm not sure why the credit is there. Again, there's still changes being made to go away from the old method. But then we're also showing the rewards balance there. But I can go ahead and invite a friend and load that friend from contacts. Now, right now, this isn't the easiest way. Right now, you do one at a time, and it's first name, last name, and email address. There's been talk about, I'm not sure where it is on the list, but talk about integrating this with Facebook, being able to post your referral code directly to Facebook, and so on and so forth. So that is one of the methods that is currently the only method that you can simply send that code. But if I send that code, I'm just going to say Spencer K. at spotpos.com. Go ahead and send that. Oops, it already exists. So what that says is that this customer already exists. We can't send that. When we send that email, that customer will get an email with a link. Whoops, did not want to do that. That customer will get a link that says, "Hey, so and so, please come use my dry cleaner." The referral, the customer that gets referred gets an immediate 10% off coupon, and the referring customer also gets a coupon based on this referring coupon event. The referring coupon event determines when the referring customer gets their coupon. So if I'm customer A and I refer customer B, right now we have it set to absolutely the most logical place in my mind, and that is first pickup. The coupon is awarded when the customer picks up the orders for the first time. So when customer B picks up his first, excuse me, wow, sorry about that. When customer B picks up his first order, customer A is issued a coupon, and that coupon automatically gets applied to his first order. Additionally, when customer A signs up, that 10% coupon automatically gets applied to his first order as well. So there's no exchanging of coupons, no forgetting coupons, no frustration on the customer level because they can't get their referral percentage off because they forgot to bring in a piece of paper. It's just automatic. Now that referring coupon event, there are 4 options, and 2 of these are, in my mind, completely useless. I shouldn't say that on a training call, but I just don't see the point in that. The first is immediately, which means as soon as I send my email, I can come to refer a friend, invite friends, and I'll just do SK. As soon as I hit send, I now have a coupon. And so I can just keep doing this to as many email addresses. It doesn't matter if the email address is valid or not. All I have to do is hit send, and I get a coupon right then and there. It's absolutely silly, asinine. Yes, I use the word asinine to describe it. The second is sign up. Sign up is the coupon is awarded when the customer signs up via Customer Connector at the store. So I receive the email, I go sign up, and then the referring customer gets their coupon. So I could send myself a few referrals, go sign up, and then give myself a coupon. Again, there's potential for abuse there. The two ideal options are either first detail or first pickup. I prefer first pickup because that's when you know that the referred customer has actually had they've exchanged a transaction, like you've exchanged money. First details, obviously when they bring in their first order, as soon as it gets detailed, the referring customer gets their coupon. Really, in my mind, the best one is first pickup, and I think most people will do that. And if you're one of those customers that likes immediately or sign up, I don't understand why you would want to do that, but more power to you. That's why it's there. It's there for you. I can't wrap my head around it. And so if you want to send me an email at spencerk@spotpos.com and convince me why it's useful, then that would be great. I just don't understand it. I don't mean any offense. I just don't get it. Okay. Let's talk about push notifications. Push notifications are the notifications that get sent to the phone. These push notifications can be all sorts of different things. Let's go to setup and schedule tasks, and we have push notifications. Oops. Just add push notifications here. The type is going to be push notifications, and we're just going to run this. I typically just say run it as the API. And then when are we starting? When are we ending? We're just starting today. We're going to end. Well, by default is 2020. 10 years ago, that seemed like an eternity. Now it's 3 years away, less than 3 years away. So I just set it to 2050, and in 30 years, I'll let future Spencer deal with that if I'm still here. Then run always, run only once, and an interval. Typically, we want this to run on a 15-minute interval. The way that the push notifications are handled, I believe they run on a 15-minute interval. They may just run automatically, but I believe it's kind of like the locker emails where it runs every 15 minutes. Then which stores are we sending these push notifications to? In this case, just the one. And then what are our message files? Now, these message files are, right now, I'm in the process of trying to put together some defaults and having these pre-populated here, and also having these part of your file that you can, your file of templates that you can pull down. The reason that I say that is because there's tokens that need to be embedded here. So the orders ready message file uses a text file, which essentially is just something that you just created in Notepad, and just do, I believe it just dear at customer, or even I guess since it's a push notification, you just say your order is ready for pickup, and then I think there's some tokens that have the store name, maybe the store address, the price of the order. Again, these are the push notifications is just it's like a cheaper version of a text message. So then we just put that in as a text file, and we would name it something like order ready push.txt. But we can do that with ready orders, with orders that have been picked up, so that the customer knows that the order's been picked up. Like if you send your wife to pick up your dry cleaning, it'll send you an order ready saying, hey, it's been picked up. So now you know that your wife has been to the dry cleaner. Orders not delivered, orders delivered, this is for the route side. So if for some reason your orders are not able to be delivered, the route driver can send a message saying these were not delivered and here's why. A route reminder, this is probably the most important one to say, hey, we're going to be in your area. One of the really cool items, just to get a little bit off topic here, one of the really cool items that's going to be within the RouteTrack Mobile is the ability to, either through a text or with the route, obviously with the route reminder, but with in a text message, sending a route reminder text and having a response be able to come back saying, we will be in your area, respond no if you don't want us to come by. and that will save you a trip to a stop that you don't want to visit, and Spot will automatically cancel the pickup if they respond no. And that is just wild to me. It's going to be great. And I know that that's currently in testing right now as well. Route did not visit, bags picked up, just a lot of different messages that you can come up with. Keep your eyes peeled. I'll be updating this training. Hopefully I'll be splitting these up into little segments so that you don't have to watch an hour-long training and be able and just have to put yourself through the whole thing just to get little updates. But some of the talk that we're talking about right now is, maybe a Spot YouTube channel. There's a few irons in the fire to get this information out there in an easier method for customers. Okay. But as of right now, the push notifications probably will need to work with us a little bit on it. I'm not 100% on the setup for those, so we'll want to make sure that we get those. Get that portion updated here in the near future. And then again, it talks about configuring the email templates again at the end. So those are the items that we already went through. It talks about the configure the email, the manager address, and then the template. So maybe I'll pull that out of this portion of the guide. It seems a little redundant. But if you have any questions, feel free, if you're watching this as a recording, feel free to email me directly. My email address is spencerk@spotpos.com, or you can email appsetup@spotpos.com. In fact, I might prefer that you email appsetup, as I may not actually be in the office or immediately available. Just to give you a little bit of a frame of reference, we are currently deploying upwards of 60 mobile apps at this point in time, and it has definitely kept my day very, very full. So I apologize if I'm not very quick to get back to you. I will do my best, as do all of us. That's why I recommend App Setup. There's 5 of us that are copied on that email address. Thank you for attending, and I look forward to talking to you soon.